just go broad,
Yeah.
figure out what you want to do. Certain things will never change, right? Growth marketing is an experimentational mindset which can be executed using all of these different channels. Prepare for cat,
Yeah.
and during that preparation is when I understood what marketing actually is.
So, hello everyone. Welcome to the 11th, I think 11th, 12th episode. This is the 12th episode of Marketing Gurukul. So, uh, in a previous episode, we see some leaders like Shreya Patar, marketeers like, and different marketeers. So, we have learned so many aspects like freelancing, from how to start our marketing journey, how to position as ourselves as a marketer, how to become a digital marketer. But this is a very special episode as we are discussing the term growth marketing. So growth marketing right now is trending. I myself position myself as a in a growth marketer. So I was searching in Twitter. So I found Vibin there. So he's a very great guy. He has some very big achievement. He is already doing a job, or along with he is also building a community. He has already built a community of a startup. So that's very great. I would like to know, Bhavin, if you introduce yourself.
Absolutely. So currently, what I do is I take care of the marketing initiatives at Turing. So that requires me to work with multiple teams, let's say content, SEO, community, paid marketing, and multiple other marketing teams within the company to ensure that we are able to unlock growth. But in my previous avatar, I was leading the organic growth for Freshworks.
Hmm.
So I think over I've been in digital marketing for over 8 years now,
Wow.
and yeah, I've spent most of my time like working on growth, right? Working on growth, working on acquisition. That is something that I've worked on and developed an interest towards. Also, to talk about the community aspect that you touched upon, um, yeah, I run a community which is over 90,000 people strong, and the community is called All India Startups. It's a place where you get to meet like-minded folks from the startup industry within India, and yeah, it's a great place to hire folks to look for companies that you want to work in, also to learn and share knowledge.
So I would like to know actually, my journey started as I'm an engineer turned marketer. So I didn't figure out engineering. So I go on figuring out marketing. What is the marketing stuff here? Okay, that learning marketing. I think 2 years ago I learned about the term digital marketing, then learn social media marketing, and then now growth marketing. So what's your journey? Matlab, are you into the marketing from starting, or you just figure out marketing after exploring new things? What's the journey? I'm excited to know.
Yeah. So see, fun story. In my college, I told my mom that, hey, I'm not interested in engineering.
You are
I
also an
want
engineer.
to, yeah, I want to go into marketing. Okay. And you know what my mom said? My mom said, hey, I mean, I don't think you'll enjoy going and talk to people. Like you should go home to home and then sell stuff. So their definition of marketing was sales.
Salesman.
And correct. So so that is what even I grew up with, right? And at the time, it is not like all homes had an internet connection. Internet was very rare. And I got my dial-up connection when I was in the fourth year, if I'm not wrong. Okay. So up until the age of 21, technically there was no internet. If I had to use the internet, uh, I had to go to the browsing center to use it. So the awareness also wasn't available as much. But what I also did during my fourth year is prepare for cat,
Yeah.
and during that preparation is when I understood what marketing actually is. So that was there in the back of my mind. I I went to the classes, but I didn't prepare as much for my CAT exams. Uh, but I wrote my CAT. I gave my CAT. I got close to 90 percentile, and I was like, dude, without any preparation, I got 90, and that was enough for me to give that boost of saying, hey, I mean, I think you can get in if you try harder. uh, but I think that was done. My interest of then doing an MBA was pretty much done after I got it. And yeah, so in college, same time, campus interviews were happening, and I got placed in an IT company. Worked there for like a year, but probably year and a half. But the best thing that happened during that time was a lot of people in that company were not interested in what they were doing. Okay, so all of these folks were doing something or the other. People were preparing for GMAT, people were preparing for CAT, people were figuring out which other companies that they can jump to. And for me, I was figuring out, because I was surrounded by such people, I was figuring out what is that I wanted to do. And I decided that, hey, I want to start a blog. Okay, see, the whole idea, obviously, like from my childhood, was how do I be that person who comes up with something like just do it, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that it was called a copywriter. That was my basis. But I thought, hey, if I have to involve all of the skills that I have, which is, I know that I want to do marketing, I know that I can write a little, I know that I'm a little creative, and I have a sense of, like, um, a sense of comedic element to
Yeah.
me. So I thought I can bring that out in a blog. That's how I started. And when you start a blog, right, you just learn a ton of things. When you start a blog,
True.
you think about, how what is the topic that you want to, what is the niche that you want to focus on. You get better at writing. You set up Facebook account, you set up Instagram account for it. You try and promote it, you get people to your website, right? This
True.
is exactly what a marketer does, at least at the awareness stage.
Yeah.
So
So
that is how I learned. Luckily, one of the articles that I wrote became viral, got the attention of an agency owner. The agency owner gave me a freelance assignment, which I did like really well. He was super happy, and he offered me a full-time job. That's how like the whole journey of digital marketing started. Then
that's
everything else I learned by doing, right. Once I got the opportunity, they gave me the budget, they gave me all the things that was available. I basically used that as an MBA to for my digital marketing journey.
this from MBA to digital marketer. So true that what you said, na, ki a blog will teach you many things. If you want to start a digital marketing journey, even I started my journey as a blogger. So in 2017, when I was in engineering third year, so I start a WordPress blog. So I was not at good at content writing, but I figure out how to design no code website through WordPress and start selling these things. Learn basic SEO, learn basic email, how to make a newsletter there, then email subscription, how to do it, how to do a basic automations, and then figuring out that you said the social media and these things. So I think WordPress blog, if you start a blog, it will give you all the basic aspect of marketing. Then you can decide that which sector you want to go further deep. So I think this is a very good thing. But this thing is, people know about digital marketing, people know about freelancing, people know about social media marketing, but what is this growth marketing? Matlab, abhi people are confused ki what is this growth marketing? Is this something new thing? People are saying growth hacking, growth marketing. So this term is booming now. More and more people consider call themselves as a growth marketer. So what does growth marketer do, and what is growth marketing?
Yeah, so I think before we go into growth marketing, let us probably think about a funnel called as a pirate funnel. Okay,
Uh,
so what a pirate funnel is, pirate funnel has 6 stages. Imagine it like a normal marketing funnel. The first stage is awareness, then comes acquisition, Okay. Then comes activation.
Yes.
Then comes retention, revenue, referral. Okay. So if you look at this funnel, right, at every step of the way, if you can increase certain metrics, the flow to the lower half of the funnel becomes higher,
I,
right? If your movement from awareness to acquisition is 10 percentage, you can increase the awareness rate, or you can increase that 10 percentage into 15 percentage or
yeah.
whatever, right? And you can do it at every step of the funnel. And whatever changes you make to every step of the funnel, you know that you are going to aid growth, and that is growth marketing,
Yeah.
right? When we talk about marketing, most of us think of a world where we are just responsible for the top level awareness generation or
Uh,
uh, acquisition, and we don't think about it like
improve
after that.
improving the funnel and these things.
Correct. We just talk about the top portion of the funnel.
Yes.
But in terms of growth marketing, you can basically control and optimize at every step of the funnel. That's how like I think about growth marketing, or that is how most people define growth marketing as.
Great, great. So I
And
also,
one
yeah,
sorry, one important thing that I want to clarify, right? When people think growth marketing, they are thinking like, hey, there are new channels or there are new ways in which you can do it. Technically, the channels are the same, right?
same.
The channels are the same. You still have your social media, you'll still have your email, SEO content. All of these things are the same. It is growth marketing is a mindset.
Thanks, sir.
Growth marketing is an experimentational mindset which can be executed using all of these different channels. See, just to give you an example, as a growth marketer, your role is to figure out those opportunities, okay, and test those opportunities. Once you test it and once it works, your job is to pass it on to the team who are specialists at that. Let's say you figure out an opportunity on social, you go ahead and do it. You do it once, you test it out, you know it's working. You take it and give it to the social media team, tell them that this is working, continue doing it. And then as a
Ah,
growth marketer, you jump to the next opportunity that you can find. I think
ah.
that is the mindset that's required.
I think we call it strategist who make the strategy and that how these things work and give it to the team. Explain the team that okay, work in this way, reading data, analyzing data, all things, and figure out that which funnel, like you said, funnel. Like 100 people go in awareness, then 10 people go in acquisition, then one
Yeah.
people at the end convert. So improving these 100 to 20 if we improve. So how we can improve this? Why the uh, can we do the graphic import, can we do the video part is strong, can we do the ad part is strong, then we tell the team okay, improve this, then we, I think this is the point you want to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. The only difference is strategists are thinkers.
Yeah.
Growth marketers are thinkers, but they're also experimenters.
Hmm.
I think that's the only little nuance.
They do various trials and errors, I think.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I agree.
True. So basically, I saw this is I also understand once again growth marketing because this is a journey. I don't think growth marketing is a destination that you achieve something. Okay, you come. So I say it's a journey, you trials and errors, and I'm also doing this. So what do you think? What I understand the role of growth marketing, but what is the future? You look into the growth marketing, where it is the future. I think content marketing is going everywhere. Okay, so what is the future of growth marketing? If you see, what is the future?
So I will talk about an industry change that's happening, right? Um, One thing that's happening, at least in the B2B software space or the B2B SaaS space, is we are seeing companies being more product led, right? Uh, can I give you guys an example? Yes, let's probably take an example of, let's say, Canva, or even mm, let's say something like a Slack.
Slack.
Okay, if you take Slack, imagine how it's proliferating within companies, right? Generally, in let's say a 4,000 member organization, you will probably have 5 or 6 teams that is already using Slack, or even 10 teams who's already using Slack. They are using Slack because it's a free tool up until a certain point, right? They sign up, they're able to use it. The pricing is based on usage, so up until a certain usage point, you get it for free. And once the company sees that, hey, a lot of teams within the company are using Slack, the company is also more sort of willing to try that tool out. Okay, but the way the whole thing works is, Vibin, probably an employee of a company, goes and signs up, starts using it. Same like Vibin, multiple other people go and use it within the same company. And Vibin using it is of no value unless and until Vibin's team also gets onto it, right? So more and more people are added onto it. And because these companies, Slack is tracking all of the data, Slack knows that, hey, this account, a lot of people are using.
Yes.
So the salesperson will reach out to relevant folks within the company with a super thought out sales pitch, right? He's going to give people data, he's going to give people a lot of context and then pitch the product. And I think that is what is changing in the B2B SaaS world. The age of people going, wining and dining, closing closing products, closing sales is pretty much like coming towards the end. More and more companies are becoming product led, even if they are not completely product led. They're trying to bring in like those elements. So product led is not, it's not like, hey, you're product led or not. Product led is basically like a spectrum. You can, your product led growth maturity could be low, or it could be medium, or it could be high, right? Canvas is probably like really high.
Yeah.
Slacks is probably pretty high. Maybe HubSpot is probably somewhere between low and medium, right? uh, yeah, so I think that's how we should think about it. And in that world, the role for growth marketers is huge, right? Especially in such a world, every single activity that you can adjust, you're gonna increase the revenue, you're gonna ensure that there's growth happening. So
Yeah.
that is why growth marketers are important. That is why you see like a lot more people talking about growth marketing.
Yeah. I think the way you explain, I think growth marketer analyze the data very much. I think so. So they work on data. I think if the person is good with data, they understand the data, how the changes happen by slightly disturbing the data. So they can figure out where is the error and they can solve the errors. I think this, I think so. This is you explained in simple terms, no? So
Correct.
yeah. So let's I understand growth marketer, a simple thing ki, we have to think of this thing. But yesterday I have a conversation with one person called me. He said that various creator in India now, right now looking towards, they are not focusing on, they build a personal brand, but instead of now focusing on personal brand, they are now moving towards building a community.
Yeah.
Building a community. So I didn't get him point because I am that type of person who is so much fond of personal brand ki, you should have a personal brand give you a trust and these things. But this person has changed me my perspective. And I think shake my beliefs that he explained about that community. If you build the community, like he told about the Vivek Vidra example, he said that now he's not focusing on creating the personal brand. He created it, now he's leveraging for community. He told me 10 20 brands name, different brands, who said that they are leveraging for building a community to their product inside the community. Like building a community, like bada businesses build bada business community, the link just like LinkedIn they are building. So different business are building community. So what's your point of view in that? Just my personal question. I'm in doubt so many times these days, so just my person.
So see, I I think building a community is amazing, right? Uh, the reason why I built it is also that I'll probably give you my backstory, but I'll tell you the difference between building a personal brand and building a community. Okay, when you say building a personal brand, all that you're doing is building a following, building an audience, right? And when you do that, every single person is connected to you, right? You're not connected between yourselves. If you follow me, your friend follows me, your connection to the other person is via me, right? But imagine if I build a community, the members of the community come together because of a purpose. And I don't have to be the central point to connect these two because they are already connected by the purpose. So imagine instead of one person working to build it, there are now three people working to build the community, right? And the best thing about community, what I've learned is there are three things that is super important when it comes to building a community. Okay. One, the community needs to have a strong purpose. Okay. Two, there needs to be that initial set of people who are like extremely passionate about that purpose. Okay. And you need to have strong processes to ensure that the community is growing and the purpose of the community and the intent of the community is not lost. Once you have this, that is when you'll understand the complete power of a community, right? See, most SaaS companies use community as a way to do multiple things, right? One is the number of L1 customer support tickets can come down because most of these questions are answered by the community itself.
Yeah.
Product evangelization takes place, right? Because one person is such an active member of the community, he or she gets that status because that person is actively contributing to the community. That person will also go and evangelize, right? The third thing that happens is community members, purely by being a part of this community, will come up with new ways of using existing features, right? Even the product manager probably wouldn't have thought about using that particular feature in such a way, but these community members will come up with it. I'm purely talking about a SaaS sort of community, but this can happen for every single community, right? If we thought, hey, we can do hiring spaces in the community that I built, we can help people get hired, and I can help people like focus on their personal growth. I can help people connect between like venture capitals and founders. 10 other people will think about 10 other things. There was the product manager who spoke only about product management, right? How to break into product management. There was an influencer who spoke about how she navigated the initial days of like brand management or whatever. So that is the power of a community. That is why I think all of us should build a community, and that is why you also see multiple companies building a community.
Yes, seen this. So I also shift my focus to building a brand is my focus, but building a community is also my focus, to build a community that more people become the face of this community. So this will be when when I listen this, I starting for my client, existing client, that they should build a personal brand, but build a community around their products, around the services, or simple value if they want to, because these things, if you get Instagram, these things are controlled by third party. Yeah,
Yeah.
third party. Maybe if Instagram didn't like your work, they will decrease your reach. You have 1 million followers, your voice will go to 100 people. But if you have community like newsletter community, or if you have a community like I think so, email community or Telegram community, or any type of sort of offline community, so or any community plot, there are so many community platform right now. New startups have come. I think you will be in various touch. You can do a market research also. If you don't have a product, no problem, you can do a market research and figure out the product. That is the very best way. You can do the research, you can do that. Okay, what are the age group of you can run polls, what are the, you can ask people, should I start a course? Your community will answer, and they will say, okay, start the course. And your buyers are ready. Before starting a product, your buyers are ready. And
Yeah.
it is their choice. They predict your product, so this they are already sold. I have listened this. People do not want they are sold, but they want to buy. They don't want someone sells them, but they like buying. If they have something in mind, they like buying. So I think community building is this thing. People will like that person to buy, or from that community. So that's or solution is very much means you pressure in personal brand. We one person has whole pressure. He has whole pressure making the content, making the this. But in community, people come together and solve a purpose. I understand community. I think in this podcast, this is a very different. Before the podcast, we discuss all personal branding and these things, but this is a next level podcast. I say all the people who have watched the 11th episode, they will learn freelancing and these things, personal branding. Now they learn, okay, the personal branding. You do the personal brand, but you have to build a community.
Yeah.
That's very good. So if I ask you, mostly people who listen this podcast are people who are figuring out their marketing career. Okay. Who are the person who are transition into marketing career. They want to transition their marketing career because this is career which have enormous opportunity, from content creators to growth marketers to digital marketers to graphic design, any type of this career is come with enormous opportunity in futures, and now right now they have opportunity. So if I ask you, what should be the roadmap? If I ask you, you already tell your journey, but if I ask you, what should be the roadmap of person first to suppose he already earning money from freelancing, but he want to move out to next level to become a growth marketer. So what roadmap should he follow? What types of, should he read a books, listen to podcasts, or do the things, or experiment? What kind of activity should he or she start doing? And second thing, if he she want to build a community, what are the pre-mind to do and what is not to do to building a community? Like I know people build a community with the purpose of selling something, so that community will never work out. So these are the things. If you very eager to sell something, then the community will never work out for a value. So what are the to do and not to do for building a community? So two questions are here. First, roadmap to growth marketing. Any person who has figured out their marketing career, they are earning from money like freelancing. Maybe they are having clients, but how to move out to next level? And second option is community. What are the to do and not to do community, not to do things in community building?
Hmm. So, see, it's a very difficult question to answer, right? But once you have decided that you want to be in marketing, within marketing, there are 100 things, right?
Yeah.
Um, you could you could be in content, you can be in social, you can specifically be in YouTube. You can in fact be in video editing. You can be a podcaster. There are multiple things that you can be in terms of being a marketer. what you need to do is, see, I basically like didn't take the normal route, right? uh, Everyone says, hey, go vertical and then be horizontal, become a t-shirt marketer.
Yeah, yeah,
I
t-shirt.
went horizontal first and then dived in deep, because that was how my career was. Like I worked in smaller companies first, and there I didn't have to specialize that much. But even then I knew that, hey, these were my certain strong suits, or these were the things that I was interested in. And then I always thought, hey, my next role I should probably pick something in these lines. So that is what I did. So I would say, just just go broad,
Yeah,
figure out what you want to do. Certain things will never change, right? Whichever marketing you get into, having like good copywriting skills will always help. Having the ability to simplify stuff and put it in a way that people can understand, that will always be useful. Third thing is ability to read data and then make some sense of it is always going to be useful in this world, like moving forward. So if you can pick those core skills up, picking the skill that you want to double down on to go to the next level will become like super easy, because it's just a natural progression. It's not like a switch you turn on and off. It is a natural progression that will happen over a period of time, is what I think. Now, coming to your second question, see, okay, first thing that I want to say is, building a community is a very different skill from managing a community.
yeah,
Okay, as marketers, most of us will have the skill to build that community, right? We'll easily take it from 1,000 to 4,000 members, or 5,000 members, or 10,000, whatever. The hardest part is to keep the community engaged. The
yeah,
hardest part is to ensure that even when you're not doing something, the community is helping each other out. The community is vibrant. The community is not dead. That is a different skill. So, one thing I would say is, when you're super focused on building a community, also be focused on managing that community to keep it vibrant always. That is one. Second thing is, see, you said about, don't build a community if you want to sell them something, right? All I'm saying is, if you can build a community around a purpose, okay, and if people coming together for that purpose are facing the same problem, and if you can give them something that
yeah,
will solve their problem, people will buy.
yeah,
I think that is what you need to do. Instead of pushing something down their throat, give them something that will solve the problem that they have.
true.
Okay. And the third thing which I feel is super important is, the size of the community actually doesn't matter if you think about it. After, I mean, if it's 1,000 member community and if it's super active, that is good enough.
Yeah,
Because if you want them to amplify something, those notes are enough to amplify something, right? So having, the size of the community doesn't matter. What matters is how engaged they are and how much they care about that particular problem. So I think these are things that I have learned in my like community building journey. I'll be super honest and say that we didn't figure out the community management part that well, right? We, for first time for first time builders of a community, we did exceedingly well in terms of uh, building it and also managing it to a certain level. But beyond a point, see, it could also be resources, right? It could be resources in terms of people, in terms of money, or in terms of platform. It could also be that. But if I have to do a postmortem and see like where I could have been better, I would definitely say the management part I could have been better.
I think these are the very good points. If someone implement these points, definitely they can make a community. Okay. So at the end, just what's your message to people? Just a common message, if you say, just a podcast end karte hain. Just with a message. What you want to say to the people who are watching this podcast? What is the message that you should say? What is the message to me or our marketing Gurukul community?
Yeah.
Now we call it community. Ah,
So, I mean, I don't know if I'm qualified enough to give like a message or something, but I'll probably just tell like something that I tell myself, which is uh, just be curious and keep learning. And I mean, we don't have to like have all the answers, but if you're curious and we keep learning, we'll figure it out. And marketing is evolving like day to day, and that is all that matters. As long as you're learning and being curious, we will all figure it out. And yeah, I mean, see, at the end of the day, marketing is about people, right? It's completely about people. So I feel there is learning in terms of every single thing. If you're consuming content that a lot of people are liking, you probably need to look at why they're liking it, right? And I think that's the most beautiful thing about being a marketer, is to be aware of pop culture, is to be aware of all the things that people are consuming, all the things that people are liking. I think that's the fun part of being a marketer. So how much ever like stressful it is in terms of targets or whatever, I think what we need to remember at the end of the day is the beauty of the field that we are in. And I don't think a lot of folks would be as curious about their fields as most marketers are, purely because it is beautiful, like at its core.
it is beautiful, and in growth marketing there is a word grow. So at least if person want to become a growth marketer, they want to grow each day, whether it is by 0.1%, no matter, but
Yeah.
they should evolve. So I think evolution is a term. Matlab, we should evaluate in marketing because
Correct.
things are changing very much.
Yeah, dude, I mean, what you said is perfect, right? Talk about evolution. What does evolution do, right? We mutate. There will be 1,000 different versions that will be put out. The one superior version will stick. That
True.
is exactly what us as growth marketers do, right? We put out 1,000 experiments, 900 will fail. I mean, 999 will fail, one will succeed. But the one success will be so big that like it will cover up for all the other
True.
experiments. So yeah, I think that's a great way to put it.
Thank you, Vibin, for your time. So we will keep हम आगे within शायद 51 episode में we will again bring you to then discuss another journey, another things. So our audience will also educate at that time with a next level of education. So we will discuss something more about it. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. Thanks a lot. This is my third podcast, if I'm not wrong. But this was a lot of fun. Thank you, man.
Thank you.